Hey y'all, here we are. It's Country Music Comrades. We're doing it. Let's just see how this thing goes. You know what I mean? Let's just put down the gas and see how far we can get. So stick it out with me. I'm going to read a little bit just to kind of help you get to know what I'm doing with this channel. It may come off a little earnest. I don't know, babe. We just got to get this video done. So here we go. Country music is a boundary. It's whatever can't be fit on a grid or captured in a cul-de-sac. It arises at the edges of wilderness and domesticity, smallness and power, creation and death, weeds and crops. It's the place of American fantasy, where ideas of the frontier and wilderness meet the reality of the ways that frontier and wilderness have always been inhabited and cared for by folks who aren't really legible to the powerful. Country music is also quintessentially American. It's the place where race, class, place, kinship all get sorted out, configured, and reconfigured. It's the place where power and culture rehearse how they're going to dance together. This also means that country music is no one's safe space as much as one party or another may try to tell you that they own the whole thing. For better and for sure, for worse, country music is really no one's safe haven. And because of this, and in some ways despite this strange plot of country music borderland has all of these borderland communities: black country, white country, queer country, conservative country, socialist country. And these communities all find themselves in these kind of strange alliances and enmities that are always shifting, because no boundary is ever final, is ever finished, is ever written in stone. And so this channel, Country Music Comrades, is dedicated to exploring the world from the boundary land of country music. What crosses through this land, what happens here, what the world looks like when you start to survey it from this border. What happens if we start telling the story of the world through the flea markets and the gas stations, the one-hit wonders, the single-use plastic, and everything that's been made too humble by force or by choice to not be disposable and to not really ever make it onto the radar? For me, this means paying attention to the comrades we make, the folks that wander with us through twangland. Country folks, country music, we've always been good at paying attention to the kin that we make. We've been very deliberate about kin. And just to be very, very clear, kin doesn't necessarily mean your family. For some folks it is, and for plenty of folks it ain't. Kin doesn't necessarily have to do with your blood relatives. Kin is just the folks that we do for and that do for us. Kin are the folks that we refuse to make a profit off of. They're the folks that we're going to stick it out with. And they're the folks that are our conscience and our resilience. Making and breaking kin, to me, is the heart and soul of country music as I've come to love it. It's about entrusting one another with our different needs and resources without letting those differences give rise to these hierarchies and to saying that anybody's above anyone else. This commitment to minimizing or altogether getting rid of those hierarchies, y'all, I mean, it's a leftist commitment. So, that's going to be the perspective of this channel. It's about minimizing or getting rid of hierarchies. It is socialistic in that sense. My guiding question is how we build kin, not kingdoms. That's that. So first things first, country music is sticky. It connects you to the world. If you ever played out in the pine trees, you know that you get all that sap on you and it leaves all that dirt and debris under your fingernails and on your elbows and your knees. And when you go to get that cup of water out of the kitchen when you're done playing, you got to peel that cup off there a little bit more because you come in with all that resin. That's what country music is. It connects your joys and your sorrows to words and communities and stories. It leaves you with dance partners. And sometimes those dance partners are as tender and loving as cornbread, and they're that nourishing. And then sometimes those dance partners are as deceitful and hollow and dangerous as empire. And so some folks might call this part of country music propaganda. And yeah, that's what it is. Like, I don't think it's got to be anything other than that. And if you look at the historical record, it also bears this out. We're too many Buck Owenses, Hank Williams Jr.'s, Toby Keith's into country music to pretend that we're not making propaganda. The question to me isn't if we should make propaganda, it's to say which propaganda we're going to make and how we're going to handle that responsibility, what we're going to do with it. Frankly, I don't think propaganda is a dirty word. I think it just reminds us that there are roots growing on all the things that we enjoy, that the things that we enjoy have a lot to do with the things that we become loyalty to. So, like propaganda, as I mentioned earlier, I do have an agenda. My agenda is to get our feelings in line with our commitments, to get the things that we dream about and the things that we desire to line up with our work, to start feeling out who our kin is so that we can then begin to make more and better kinship. That's the agenda. The other part to me of owning our propaganda is acknowledging the basic human fact that we have to enjoy things to stay meaningfully alive. In a world where we're overworked and underpaid, it is a mighty hard ask to ask people to do even more work. To me, the gift of country music is that even when country music is serving up a whole meal, it serves it as comfort food. It's a space to play, to recreate, to rest, to dance, to be with your people. It doesn't ask you to stretch your ear to appreciate some new avant-garde invention. It doesn't send you to 1,000 reference books for you to catch every new lyric. The point of country music is that it works in the familiar, in the fun, and in the felt. You know the chords, you know the tropes, and you know the forms. Even when we have difficult conversations, we do it over biscuits and gravy and Wonder Bread. That's the spirit of country music. And so when I think about what that spirit, the spirit of country music means for this channel, I think that the things that I put up have to pass a kind of comfort food test. We don't need more browbeating. We don't need more facts over feelings or the liberal equivalent of like, we have better feelings. We don't need any more hard-nosed intellectual work. We're so tapped out on work. We have to find the rest and the play in our conversations. Critically thinking and feeling has to feel more like fellowshipping than it does laboring. Baby, we're tapped out on work. We're so good, so done. I don't really think there's much empathy and solidarity in asking you to be less feeling or giving you more work than you've already got. I think that's dumb man shit. I think that's boss shit. I think that's cop shit. I think we need to be doing more bullshitting. Genuinely, I think that's the goal. Plus, I also think it's very important to remember that we tend to feel power more than we analyze it. So we're not going to treat play or even fun or feeling as an accident, an indulgence, a guilty pleasure, as something that's an outlier to what we're doing here. It's part of our survival. And so it's going to be part of the work that we get done on this channel. I also think it's important to just say that there's a world of difference between bullshit and talking out your ass. And as I said earlier, I'm here just to bullshit. Bullshitting is a way of talking to you that says, like, I have no intention of being authoritative. I have no intention of pretending that I have access to some superior or esoteric knowledge. I ain't any better than you. This is my perspective. These are the things that I think about. Talking out my ass is just spreading bad facts and bad information with the equally bad intentions of looking like I can talk. I'm not here to be more than I am or to pretend that I'm an expert on everything. I also want to say I do have expertise in some areas and I'm pretty well conversant in others. But the big point of this project is just to get the conversation rolling in ways that are helpful. That's it. Think of these videos as launching pads for thought and practice. I don't know why I said pads that way, but the point is that this ain't school, this ain't court, this ain't church. Not all country music is good, right? Sometimes you just make a weird concept album. Sometimes I'm going to just make a weird concept album. No one has an obligation to take a weird concept album seriously. Part of operating in good faith is just being happy to be wrong. I'm going to be happy to be wrong. So I've been talking a lot. I can't believe you're still here. And I could just be talking to myself right now because I'm shocked if anyone has stuck it out this long. But this is the channel, okay? And it's not all going to be this kind of cut and dry. I got lots of cool ideas that I am very excited to talk about through the lens of country music. We're going to try to make sure that things are fun and engaging. And we're going to play around with the format. You know, I'm going to post things kind of weekly and then post long form stuff, whatever. I don't know. We're going to see. We're playing around with it. And I welcome your feedback and send this to your mama or whoever, whomst ever. Okay. Hey, thanks guys. I really appreciate you being here. Looking forward to our conversations.